Keith, what's up, buddy?
Hey, actually, I'm very happy Kansas City won.
Okay.
Okay,
We'll see how happy you
Have fun
are.
with that pitching staff.
You know what? You said that it was a better matchup for the Yankees, Baltimore. That's absolutely wrong. Baltimore kicked the Yankees' ass.
Regular season.
Wait. Either way, the matchup favors the Yankees playing Kansas City.
Okay, we'll see. When the Yankees probably get swept in this series, what are you going to say? You were right. And then if the Yankees win, you're going to say, I told you.
You're a heck of a fan, I tell you.
I'm telling you the truth. It's not me being honest, fan.
You think Kansas City's a better team?
First of all, they have nothing to lose. Baltimore was expected to beat Kansas City. No, Kansas City has nothing to lose. They shouldn't have been here. They had a fantastic year, and in the second half, especially early in the second half, they didn't play well. They picked up their game the last month and a half, and they were outstanding.
They were awful the last couple weeks. What are you talking about?
What are you talking
about? There's still an identity that's still good.
Let's see. Go ahead.
Kansas City sucked the last 2 weeks.
They struggled at the end of the season, yes. But, Keith,
remember...
That's
it.
Okay.
Now,
Keith,
listen, hold on.
Getting cold at the end of the season matters more in football, not baseball.
Hold on. What do you go by as far as the matchups? All you can go by is what the season was, right? I'm saying, of course Kansas City could beat them. Anybody could beat anybody. But Kansas City is a better matchup still. The Yankees... were 5-8 against the Orioles and 5-2 against Kansas City,
which is a small sample size for a regular season.
Either way, if you have to say, you can't sit there and say it's a better.
They had one bad week in the month of September. Kansas City, I'm looking at it right now. They had one bad week. They had one bad week in.
They did not.
Yes. Okay, you want me? I'm looking at it. September. They lost. Then they won. Lost. Oh, hold on. That was a week. Then win. Then loss, win. I'm looking at it right now, Keith. It was 1 week. It was 1 week.
They had a 5 month in the last month.
It was 1 week.
It wasn't 1 week.
It was.
Okay. Either way,
so from the same logic, are you concerned about the Yankees for their 2-5 at the end of the season?
No, I'm not, because they already had a pretty much clinch. Either way, right? The Yankees do match up better with them.
Okay, we'll see.
They could still lose. Why did they go 2-5? Why did they go 5-2 against them during the season?
That's the regular season.
So.
Okay.
That's what you can go by, is all I'm saying.
No. You're playing against better pitching now. You're going to play against your best pitchers.
Oh, come on, Speed. Quit kissing his ass.
I know it's true.
No, I said 2 months ago I was very afraid of the Royals.
I'm afraid. We said it yesterday. We said it yesterday.
Yeah, and you were wrong yesterday.
I was wrong yesterday?
On Monday.
I told you Kansas City was going to beat Baltimore. What are you talking about?
Wait a second. I'm not surprised about that at all.
Really? You're not?
You said that the Yankees match up better with them. No,
Baltimore, yes, they do. They do. They don't have good pitching.
The Orioles have 4 pitchers hurt.
They don't have good pitching.
Great. The Orioles pitched great this series.
Really? Okay.
In the 2 games.
Yes, their 2 top starters pitched well. They had no depth besides that. How's they going to work in a 5-game series?
You knuckleheads don't even think. Don't forget Kansas City just used their 2 pitchers. Their best starters, right?
And they're going to get rest.
Oh, yeah.
If anybody knows baseball, which you do,
it's
when you sit out for and the Yankees are going to sit out for a week, and you're playing a team that shouldn't even be there. They shouldn't be, and they have confidence now. They just swept the Baltimore Orioles. Who do you think has the confidence?
It's 2
games. It doesn't matter. They swept them.
That's what ridiculous. But
they gave up 1 run against that offense. One run.
Wait, I want to ask you something. Am I wrong? You said it's the best of 5 series now?
Yeah, it's the best 5.
Best of 5 series, which, by the way, they have 2 days off. They have 2 days off. So Reagans can pitch game 2.
All right. We'll see what happens, boys. We'll see.
Okay.
You're so confident Kansas City's going to win.
I didn't say that. I did not say that.
You did.
No,
you said
I picked them to win. Yes, I did. But that's
I didn't.
Wait, Errol. You said the other day you can't wait to throw it in my face when Kansas City beats them. That's your quote.
I said. Now I did not say they were going to beat Kansas City was going to beat them. What? I'm worried.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't, Keith.
Yes,
no,
you did.
No, I didn't.
Go look it up on the show.
I think I do. Do I think Kansas City could beat them out of Baltimore? Absolutely.
You told me you can't wait to throw it in my face when Kansas City.
Good. All right, Keith. Whatever I said. Good. Spit out what you want to talk about. Because when they do lose against the Yankees do lose against them, I don't want to hear your crap. I don't want to hear excuses from your big mouth. I don't want to hear your mouth waggle and all this other stuff and make all the excuses.
You were wrong about the matchup. That's all I'm saying.
I'm not. I'm not wrong about the matchup. I think it's a bad matchup.
Against Kansas City
in the regular season.
So what? It's still what you can go by. That's all you go by. Whatever. Ask Fish. What do you think about that?
What, Fish? What do you think about it? Unmute yourself because you're on mute. Unmute yourself.
I'll tell you what I think about it. I think the same as you two guys do. It doesn't matter what happened in the regular season. You're going to go by the fifth starter. And what happened in those games, you're not going to see those guys in the playoffs. The Orioles were completely injured by the end of the season. All their guys were down.
No, they weren't completely injured. The players that they were injured with didn't play.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
Fish actually said it yesterday. They had 4 starters hurt. Rodriguez, Wells,
yeah, I know.
Means, and there was one more. That
Bradish.
Bradish, yeah.
Okay, forget Baltimore. Did the Yankees go 5-2 versus Kansas City?
It doesn't matter. It's a regular season.
What they do in June against the Royals doesn't matter now.
Keith, you know this more than anybody.
They haven't played them since June? I know it doesn't matter now. I'm saying they still matched up better with that team.
Really? I don't see that.
Hey, Keith, you want to know something? The 2015 Mets got swept by the Cubs the entire regular season, swept in the NLCS.
No kidding. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. It's rare, but it does happen. How about when the same year the Mets beat the shit out of the Dodgers in '88, and then they won. They beat every game, and then the Dodgers beat their asses.
Right. That's why I'm saying small samples do not matter.
It's not a small sample. It's a big sample.
For what happened? 162 games, playing 7 games against the Royals.
13 games against the Royals is a big sample.
Out of 162 games?
Yeah, 13 against one
team. That's 10% of the games you play all year.
13. What happened? Listen, of course they can lose. I'm saying to me, it's a better matchup.
That's to you. That's to you.
You got your opinion.
Keith, let me answer you. Will you let me answer you and not talk?
Hold on. Fish is going to answer you. Yeah.
I want to see if you could do this, Keith. All I'm going to tell you
I can't hear
is that it's a completely.
You can't hear you, but we'll tell you. Guys, say it.
Okay.
It's a completely different game in the postseason. You need to know that it's not the same brand of baseball. Guys that are power hitters and successful during the regular season and aren't great hitters but put up good numbers are trash in the postseason. It doesn't matter.
I know.
If they're the
okay,
but
and
look, they have experience now. The Yankees. This is an inexperienced team.
All right. And what happens? Okay, you have Soto. You see his statistics and what he's done in the past. He did it. Now, again, we're going to go. He did it in the National League. This is the American League. It's a different league. And again, there's more pressure with the Yankees than he did over there with the Padres and what he did with the Nationals. Oh, okay. We'll see. I'm just saying. What are you going to say? What are you going to say?
What are you going to say?
I'm very worried about this team. I told you.
Okay.
I told you this yesterday.
Yeah,
I told you this. It's not that I have no confidence. I don't trust the Yankees against these low-life teams. And Kansas City,
they're not a low-life team.
Oh, okay. They're not.
He's a good team.
Okay. And that's going to be your excuse if the Yankees lose?
They're not an excuse. If they lose, they lose. There's no excuse.
All right, Keith. What else do you want to talk about? Okay.
I think who I think the best team in baseball is right now? The Mets.
Okay.
What do you guys think about that?
They're playing Milwaukee.
I picked them to win that series. I don't expect them.
They're playing Milwaukee.
I don't think about the series. I'm saying they're playing the best baseball right now.
Yeah,
the Tigers are. The Tigers are the hottest team in baseball.
Tigers.
They got great chemistry, great pitching. They went. They had the third most come from behind wins.
Yes.
I'm telling you right now, I would pick that team. But they're going to face who would it be next?
The Phillies.
Philadelphia.
That's going to be difficult. You even said on the last show they're the best team in baseball.
Yeah, the most balanced. That's the reason they're going to win.
Correct.
The Mets are hot at the right time. But again, sure, the Phillies can win. We don't know what's going to happen. If they lose, they lose. I prefer the matchup with Kansas City over Baltimore. That's me. Okay. We'll see. Time will tell.
You just said it, Keith. They're hot at the right time. How do you not use that logic for the other league?
Hold on, Keith. What did you say, Fish?
Keith uses the logic that the Mets are hot at the right time, but the Royals can't be hot at the right time. It's the same thing we're talking about.
He's
How do you
saying
not apply the logic to both?
he's saying that Keith, what he's saying is you should be applying the logic to both. If Kansas City, the way Kansas City just completely swept Baltimore and they got hot.
It's a 2-game sweep. It's not a best of 7.
But at the end of the season, they got pretty hot. I mean, last week,
no, they were.
the last week they've been pretty good.
Good 5 days.
All right. They're kind of hot.
A week.
That's hot. They're hot.
It's different. The Mets are the most come from behind team.
All right.
I'm not going to use Kansas City as a saying. Kansas City, what?
I thought the Mets were going to beat Milwaukee. I wasn't scared. I wasn't scared of Milwaukee.
Hot, I would apply it to the Tigers. Yeah, Milwaukee's awful. They're not awful, but the Central sucks.
All right, the Tigers are the hottest team in the American League in the second half, and the Padres are the hottest team in the National League.
And the Mets.
And the Mets. Yeah, the Mets are up there too. Yes.
Yep, and all those teams are scary. I'm more afraid of the Detroit than Kansas City.
Okay, we'll see. Because I don't even think we're going to see Detroit.
I don't think so either, but I would be. I'm glad Houston got knocked out because the Yankees have trouble with them. I'm glad Baltimore got knocked out because the Yankees have had trouble with them. And that's how I feel. I had other Yankee fans around my age texting the same shit that let's hope Baltimore loses. We'll see.
All right.
You guys know more than me, apparently. I don't know.
I'm not saying we know more than you. I told you yesterday, I do not want to see Kansas City in that 5-game series.
Hey, listen,
I just don't.
You know what? Wait, did you guys see the game today?
Yeah, we watched the game. Yeah.
Was it ridiculous? What did you think about when it was 1-1 and they pitch to Witt with the pace open?
Well, it just shows you how smart that organization is. Okay.
Yeah, Baltimore's poorly managed game.
Yeah, well, and that's what worries me about the Yankees because one mistake, Perez is a good hitter, Witt is a pretty good hitter. And by the way,
Boone is the greatest manager either.
Perez scares me because he hits a lot of home runs in Yankee Stadium. Go look at his numbers in Yankee Stadium. He's a 333 hitter in Yankee Stadium. Yeah, it's ridiculous. He kills the Yankees, and we have to deal with him. We got to deal with him.
Scare me, but the rest of the lineup doesn't scare me. Their pitching is good now. Their pitching is better than the Yankees. Their close is good. Got great stuff. But I don't know. I hate the best of 5 shit because anything can happen.
No, and
that's all we're saying.
And I don't start. And if I were the Yankees, I don't start Garrett Cole in the first game. I'd start him away. His right now in the last 12 games, in the 12 games that he's played away this year, he has a 2.67 ERA. At home, his ERA is over 3. I would pitch him away. That's what I would do. I would start. I would start the young kid.
In the best of 5, you gotta.
I'm starting Hill. I'm starting Hill.
No.
I'm telling you, he's got. I think he had all the Yankees. I think he has more wins than any Yankee pitcher at home this year. I'm playing the young kid. You don't want to play him away where he doesn't have the confidence. I play him at home. I start him in the first game. Well, I give him the confidence.
Rodon scares me, period, in game 2, because you don't know what you're getting out of him. Now, he could be great or awful. He's no in between. But I guess you got to do it. I mean, you have to go with your ace, though, because in the best of 5, you're going to kick yourself if you go with the rookie who might not, he might be nervous
have to
anyway.
At some point, though.
Yeah, I know. Well, you got to try and grab those 2 at home, but the bottom line is the Yankees are way better on the road, period.
Yeah, I'm worried. I'm worried because they have home field advantage here.
Home is actually, I'd rather them be on the road. I'm not kidding either. They're much better on the road. Not even close.
Yeah, I'm worried. I'm worried in this series. I'm really, really worried in this series. Keith, call back a little bit later. We got to finish up. Let's parlay 9 o'clock. Yeah, go ahead.
One thing real quick. As far as I agree with I think Washington be a perfect fit for Hill. I picked Washington. You remember I told you they're going to win the division.
Yes.
Before the year, and Daniel is definitely the best. Daniel's the best quarterback in the draft.
As of right now, I like Caleb.
I don't see him getting worse though. But the durability is a thing where you got to hope he can.
I mean, I think the problem right now with Caleb Williams is he doesn't have a coach. Eberflus is not a good coach.
Okay, Caleb Williams is going to be good.
I think he's proven the last 2 weeks he's going to be good. I don't think he has. He has a lot of injuries right now. He's dealing with 2 of his wide receivers are not 100%. Well, one of them is out, and the other one is not. His second wide receiver is not 100% healthy. And again, I just don't think Eberflus is a good
more
coach.
of a head case than Daniels too.
Yeah, he is, because he to him he is an ego trip, and somebody's got to take that ego down. They need to get a veteran coach in there next year that is going to give him a kick in the ass. They need a real good veteran coach to come in.
You know, it'd be great for them. There's nobody coached about him going there, but Belichick going there would be awesome.
I would say, well, who's the guy that coached the Titans last year?
Mike Vrabel.
I would bring Mike Vrabel in. I think
he's
Vrabel,
a great coach.
I think he's a great coach. I think he's never had a quarterback that good that he can really develop. And he's a leader of men. And 2 years ago, he was coach of the year. 3 years ago, he's coach of the year. Yep. This is a good coach. He didn't get hired. He didn't want to get hired this offseason because there was no good positions.
No good open.
I think Chicago would be a perfect position for him. He's a defensive-minded coach. They got a great young defense. I think it's a perfect fit. Perfect fit.
I agree.
Mm-hmm. So I think Vrabel would be. But all right, bro. Call back if you want later. Keep listening to the show, buddy.
I'll talk to you guys later.
I love Keith. Okay, I just think he's crazy. I'm worried about Kansas City. I don't care what anybody says. I'm worried about him. And yes, the Mets are the hottest team right now. They are. They're hot. They're red hot. But I knew they were going to run all over this team. I didn't think Milwaukee was that good at the end of the season. And I think there's a lot of deficiencies they have in their lineup. I really don't think they're as good as everybody seems them to be, or says they are.
So Yelich either.
No, and Yelich is he's hurt. So I do now again. Viatos, he looks really, really good. He looks like a young stud. I mean, they have their lineup. They have Alvarez, looks like a great player. We know Pete Alonso hasn't had a great year, and we will get in before the game, before the show is over. We'll get into baseball. We'll finish up with a little bit of baseball and our thoughts on where we think the next series are going to go. I think Detroit has a very good chance of going to the AL championship. I really do. American League Championship. Because I question, and I'm speaking the truth here. I don't know what Cleveland is. Cleveland has a great bullpen and they have a good pitching staff. Are they going to get enough hits?
Their starting depth's not great though this year either.
Are they going to get enough hits that they're going to be able to beat this team? And Detroit, they have a good young squad. The middle of the lineup is pretty good, and that Screwball, whatever his name is, he is a great pitcher. And if he pitches two games in a 5-game series, good luck, because the guy has been unhittable in the last really for a whole season. Honestly, he's the American League pitcher of the year. I think he's the Cy Young winner. So I think he could win it. So there's a lot to get into with Detroit. Could you imagine Detroit going to ALCS? Could you imagine that? This is a Detroit team that hasn't been there in over 10 years. I mean, since Verlander and Scherzer. And now, and by the way, they didn't even win with those guys.
No, they lost. They got swept by the Giants of all teams. And their last playoff appearance was 2014. They have the time for the longest drought with the Angels.
Could you imagine them winning the World Series this year with this young team? I could see it.
I can't. They don't have any offense. They're going to need to hit a little bit more than they are. But it's a great story. It's absolutely a great story.
They've been the last week they've been hitting. So they
they got a pinch hit 3-run double. It's like the situational stuff.
That's all you need,
right? You're right, but it's not sustainable. I don't think. We'll see.
The Washington Post reports that the NFL could be changing the kickoff rule again next season, moving touchbacks to the 35-yard line. Before this season, touchbacks went to the 24-yard line, and the new kickoff rule put touchbacks on the 30-yard line. Goodell said on Good Morning Football that he wanted a new rule that would compromise more kickoff returns and player safety. He added that moving touchbacks to the 35-yard line would be an instant game changer because it would encourage more teams to kick the ball where it would be a return. 29% of the kickoffs have been returned with the new rule this season, and an increase of 17% since 2023. I've been saying this over and over and over again. Why are they changing the rules? They shouldn't have changed this rule going into this season. They should have just kept if you're not going to get rid of special teams altogether, and I said that, if this isn't working or they want to make this a more offensive game, just put the team on the 35-yard line and have no kickoffs. Have no more kickoffs. I'm just speaking. If you're trying to protect the players, because it seems like the complaint is with the CTE situation, there were more head trauma and and hits when the kickoff and the punt returns were happening throughout the last 15, 20 years of football. If that's the case, then just get rid of special teams. Get rid of it. I've been saying that for a while. Now, the NFL don't want to do that because it takes jobs away. But guess what? If you take away special teams, you can put more investment and more money into your superstar players, and then you'll never lose your superstar players to free agency. That turns it all around. That means the draft is just as important as it is every single year. And I say just as it's important every single year because the 6th and the 5th and the 4th round and the 7th round are going to be just as important as the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Because now, if you don't draft right, you're going to set your team back for many, many years. Now, I know they're never going to get rid of special teams because it's part of the game. But changing these rules, and I understand what Goodell is saying, that he wanted the new rule that would compromise more kickoff returns and player safety. Really. And I understand it's up 17% from 2023. It hasn't benefited. How much more offense have we seen so far with this new kickoff rule? We haven't seen as much as we thought we were going to. I thought we were going to see more offense, more touchdowns, more teams starting at the 40 and 50-yard line. No, because now they've already practiced this. They have a game plan. What they're doing now is just kicking the ball all the way to the end zone, and they're starting off at the 30-yard line. It's taking away special teams anyways. This new kickoff rule is taking it away from the game anyways. So why don't you just get rid of it completely? And then pay your superstar players. You'll never lose Micah Parsons. You'll never lose Dak Prescott. You'll never lose CeeDee Lamb unless they get traded. You can invest all that money that you're paying all these guys, $1 million here, $2 million here, $3 million here. You can take all that money and throw it into the other players. But then your rosters are going to be small. Not really, because now you can take those guys that you're playing on special teams, and you can add an extra wide receiver on the sidelines where you can use him for, if you need an extra wide receiver on the field. You can do different things. You can use different packages. I think it would help. It would help these teams, and it would take away the head trauma that they've had on the kickoffs. I understand what Goodell is trying to say, and Goodell's trying to take away CTE completely. You're not going to take CTE away from football ever unless you stop hitting and it becomes flag football, as we've seen at the Pro Bowl. It's not going to work. Now, the head stuff, I don't know what they call that. The stuff that some of the players are wearing.
Cap, I think
the Guardian cap. Every single player should be wearing a Guardian cap right now. Every single player. Because with the Guardian cap, if you get hit in the head, there's a better chance of you not having concussion, your head hitting the ground, where it's going to give you enough pad where it's going to protect your head. It should be forced right now in the NFL. If you want to do something, I would do that. Don't change the rules. Don't change the game any more than you changed it. It doesn't help the game. It hasn't helped the game. You ask any player, or even any of the former players that we've had on this show, ask any one of them if they have enjoyed watching or their thoughts towards these new rules, these kickoff rules. Does it benefit the players? Does it benefit the NFL watching this every single week by week, or even the players playing with these new rules? Does it help the NFL week by week? The answer is no. I've been watching it. Has it helped the Jets? I've watched every single Jet game, every single point of those games. I've watched the Giant games. I've watched Washington Commander games. I've seen 2 of them, full games. I've watched the Pittsburgh Steelers, full games this season, 3 of them. This kickoff rule hasn't helped anybody. We haven't seen more offense from it. And they're saying they're protecting the players. How is it protecting the players if you're not even going to see any of it? If there's not going to be special teams anymore and nobody's going to return it, and people are just going to kick it outside, they're kicking right out for a touchback, then they might as well get rid of special teams. There's no reason to keep special teams anymore.
Yep. And before we get Wes on quickly, it's a hypocrisy that Roger Goodell's trying to put in. You're trying to encourage more player safety by getting more kickoff returns, closer range kickoff returns. Like, it doesn't really make a lot of sense. And I think something we've noticed this year, we're talking about the kickers like being so good at long distance field goals a couple weeks ago. Like, there's just more field goals in general this year, because I think because of these larger field positions, teams are going with bend don't break defenses. They're going to go for the field goals and say, all right, go for it on fourth down, see if you get it. Encouraging teams like the Eagles to go for it more, and the Lions, teams like that would love to go for it on fourth round, doing that. And that's not helping the offense either. That's not what you want, Roger Goodell. Meanwhile, you're still getting all these players hurt, like all the injuries we've had this year.
I disagree, guys. I think this is a great thing for the game. It's going to make it a safer way to have an exciting play. They're not going to lose special teams because you still need punt. And the same guys that do kickoff do punt. And you still need extra point and field goal. And a lot of those guys, the snapper is going to be used for the punt. So it's, maybe you save one position or something that you can use for something else. But I'll tell you this, I got a clip I'm going to play real quickly. And this is a famous play by a guy who was a 6th round pick that was a nobody coming into camp in a preseason game in Japan. And Mike Shanahan talked about how Terrell Davis made his impact by laying someone out. And that's the first time they realized they had somebody. And a lot of guys that are not going to make rosters in the NFL come out in special teams and show that they want some of the sauce. And Terrell Davis, as we know, became a Hall of Famer. We could disagree if he was a Hall of Famer or not because of right. But regardless, back-to-back champion and was the leader of that entire team. You could say it was Elway. It was at the end of his career. That was the outside zone offense, Shanahan offense with Kubiak for Terrell Davis. And he was incredible for that short period of time, because he was one of those guys, and he would have never gotten the chance if it wasn't for special teams. So I don't really want to see it leave. I think the moving it to the 35 is just a way to get more plays instead of them just kicking out of the back of the end zone. Make it, so that they'll actually return it. It's an idea. Look, it's imperfect. They're messing around with the game.
Stop changing it. Just force them to wear that stupid head guard.
It's not going to save you from concussions or anything.
It's going to help you. It's going to benefit you more than actually, hitting the concrete of the ground of a turf. Okay, that's what it is. The turf is dangerous. It is, but the schematics of this one, you're not going full speed. The guy has a head start, so it's just technically safer. Fish, I think the percentage right now of these head traumas and these concussions are coming from the ground. It's the turf. It's not the hits, not the hard hits. I think there have been more concussion problems from their hitting the ground, their heads hitting the ground, than helmet to helmet. I think there have been more concussion injuries through that than it have been with helmet to helmet. And honestly, I agree. That's always the case when I'm coaching. I'm always looking for two things. One, I don't want kids putting their head down to lead like Adrian Peterson used to do. Adrian Peterson, the strongest neck of all time, apparently. But I'll tell you that most of the injuries is because I tell kids, if you look down, you go down. You got to have your eyes up, because if you don't, your head's going to hit the ground. You're going to get concussion. And that's absolutely the truth. You're not wrong about that. As far as how your head hits the ground, it's on these, everyone running full speed, you hit somebody, you fall and hit your head. So I think that's more of it than people leading with their head. I think the safeties, delivering the blows, are doing more of the head trauma than we see on special teams. But special teams is really violent the way they had it before. Now it's almost like a glorified run play. And I think you're going to see some special teams coaches, you're going to see offensive line coaches start coaching special teams, coming up with some interesting techniques that look more like some kind of some kind of outside zone or play or pull play. Now we call this Let's Parlay.
It's time for Let's Parlay.
No Reno Johnny, ladies and gentlemen. No Chaz, nobody but Worldwide Wes. Wes, what's up, man?
What's going on, guys?
We are good, man. It's obviously this is a great time for you. Kansas City is moving on against the New York Yankees. They head to the Bronx, which is on Saturday, game number 1. I am not excited about this. I've always thought that Kansas City was a team that I did not want to play in the first the divisional game. I do not want to see Kansas City and the Yankees, but it seems like that's what it's going to be. And if the Yankees want to move on to the ALCS, they're going to have to go through Kansas City.
Well, it's a good time to be in Kansas City. All the fountains are going to be blue tomorrow. all of the, I mean, you will see Royals stuff everywhere. We'll probably see some Royals chants taking place at Arrowhead while this is going on. So it's, I'm not a baseball guy, but this is a real easy city to fall in love with the team. Just, we'll probably have Blue Fridays and where everybody wears blue to work. And, it's pretty cool.
That's a pretty good picture. Again, Fish, Royal Snatch, Orioles playoff dreams.
No wonder Rito Johnny didn't
Snatch. Speedy's favorite word, snatch.
Well,
want to come on tonight.
The Royals, their pitching has been great, and I don't know if I'm speaking correctly about baseball, but if there is a such thing as uglying the game up, that's kind of what the Royals do. Well, they better find some bats if they're going to beat the Yankees, because the Yankees are going to score runs. It doesn't matter how good the Royals have been on defensively.
They got a lot of starting pitching.
And by the way, Carl, I meant, and you saw me correct it. I said nosebleed seats, but hey, what you want to call them the blood seats? They are the blood seats. You'll see a lot of blood if you're watching down there. So up there, I'm sorry, and looking down, because I've never been to Kansas City, but I'm sure those seats you see a little diamond. That's all you see. So. How many people? How many people could fit in Kansas City in the stadium?
I think Kauffman is somewhere in the 35 or 40,000 range.
Wow, Yankee Stadium I think is 55,000. So it's a little smaller than a lot of the stadiums. I mean, Pittsburgh I think fits close to 60,000.
They were looking. There was a major vote, and of course, taxpayer dollars and everything else. They were going to move Kauffman Stadium. They share a parking lot with the Chiefs right now. But they were going to move the stadium, and the environment was going to be very similar to, a Fenway, a Wrigley, like in the middle of a downtown area. The part of town is the Crossroads district, and they were basically going to wreck the old Kansas City Star building, which is a newspaper. And I mean, people don't read newspapers anymore, but the city strongly voted against it. It had to do with some small businesses feeling like their taxes would be raised, and nobody was truly going to get evicted. But in that same vote was X amount of dollars to upgrade Arrowhead and the tailgating experience. And there's a lot of politics that go into that. But it's funny that vote was rejected. The Royals were about to get a new stadium, and fast forward to where they are now. They sure deserve it. That's for sure.
Well, it's a double. Milwaukee got a double. It's no outs. I don't know what inning it is, but
bottom of the fifth.
Milwaukee has a man on second, no outs, and they have something going right now.
I am on the Brew Crew to win it, and I jumped on them when they went down 3-1.
Oh, look at you! I have the Mets sweeping the Brewers and head on to Philadelphia for Saturday. Or is it Saturday or Friday? It might be Friday, but anyways. All right, Wes, you know the rules. I think everybody that's listened to this segment has learned the rules over the last couple of years. It's very simple. He has his 3 top picks, and his final 4th pick is the parlay pick. Are you ready, Wes?
I am, and we've had quite a run. I believe that I am somewhere in the 12-1 range the last 3 times I've given picks, or 11-2. So I think I've lost 2 the last 3 times. Petey, please correct me if I'm wrong.
You were 3-1 last week, and I haven't checked your Moneyline Mania, but you were doing well with what you were texting me over the weekend.
I was 4-0 the prior week, and then Moneyline Mania. I don't remember all 4 picks, but either way, follow along, because you are going to make money as long as you don't have a favorite game amongst the plays that I give you. You bet the same dollar amount on each game. You manage that bankroll, and you'll find some winners. So I'm going to go to college first. Every time I give a pick like this, I know I run the risk of somebody calling me a homer, but college is a really weird week. There's a lot of spreads that feel too easy. This is like that statement Saturday. There's some trap games because they got the bigger game next week. Bama, Georgia is really weird coming off of the game they came off of. This October 12th is been on everybody's calendar as the best college football week of the year. But I'm going into what a lot of people would call a trap game. I am going to lay 19.5 points, and I'm going to do it on Ohio State. Yes, I bleed Ohio State. But when I look at this game, Ohio State is 2nd in overall defensive yards allowed. They're 3rd against the rush, which is all Iowa can do. Iowa is not going to throw the ball against Ohio State, not with that pass rush. And this Ohio State offense has yet to play a complete game. We have yet to see Will Howard truly utilize all of those weapons that he has. We've seen some big plays out of Jeremiah Smith, and Emeka Egbuka has been really quiet. We basically, at this point in the Buckeye season, we've seen Hugh Judkins and we've seen Travion Henderson. Really, that's what Chip Kelly is led with. But we have yet to see Will Howard truly get after it. You got Iowa going to the Horseshoe, and Ohio State allowed 14 points against Marshall. They allowed 0 points in another game. They allowed 6 to open the season, and they allowed 7 last week. So if you are going to keep it within 20 against Ohio State, you better get at least 17, because they're, as of right now, they're good for 49. They're good for 48, 49 points a game. I don't know that they're going to get that against the Iowa defense, but Ryan Day and Chip Kelly are on a mission. This is not a game where they're going to be thinking about next week. They have the depth. The guy that's sitting on the bench, he's ready to play. He was a starter last year. So I'm laying 19.5 on Ohio State, even though they play Oregon next week. I think this Oregon matchup is a little overhyped. This is not the same Oregon team as the dominance we saw last year with Bo Nix and Bucky Irving. It's just not the same. So laying 19.5 Ohio State.
All right, you're number 2.
I'm going to stay in college, and this one is purely a value play. I'm looking at the Air Force Navy game, and statistically, Navy is just the better team top to bottom. But there is this odd, I don't know if it just plays out that way or if there's just some gentleman's agreement that these military academies have with one another. But the spread opened at 6, and now it's 10. That's tremendous value to me. I'm not saying Air Force is a better team. I'm saying that these military academies play each other tough. The game is in Colorado, so Navy's got to do, almost a full country travel in order to get there. They're jumping to, over 2 time zones away from where they are in Maryland. This is going to be a boring game, but I'm going to take the 10 points, and I'm going to take Air Force as a dog. I don't know if they win the game. I'll be thrilled if they take a lead early. But 10 points when Vegas called this a 6-point game, getting 10, that's value.
All right, Wes, give us your number 3.
This one's probably going to be a controversial one when I talk to you two gentlemen, but I'm looking at the game across the pond, and I love the Jets. I absolutely love the Jets in this game. I like it for a variety of different reasons. First off, Minnesota opened as a 3.5-point underdog. That's weird, right? Like some of these point spreads you look at, it's like, why is that happening? So somebody a lot smarter than us, somebody that works for a company that built all those big buildings and bright lights and, worldwide people travel to go there. Somebody
that works where you hang out. That's where you hang out.
Well, somebody in Vegas decided that the Jets were a 3.5-point favorite. So I like it for a lot of different reasons. They're coming off a bad game. They're coming off a game that should have never come down to a field goal, and a shanked field goal at that. There's weird controversy that's taking place. This Robert Saleh, Aaron Rodgers thing. I think that it's all smoke and mirrors. I don't know that Saleh makes it, to next season. But when I look at this particular game, and now the Jets are getting 2.5 points. The Jets are a 2.5-point dog. I'm looking at the Jets. Their defense, believe it or not, they're the second overall against the pass. They're the second overall yardage allowed defense in the league. Then I look at Minnesota, and I think that their pass defense is vulnerable. And we have yet to see a game out of Rodgers. I realize I said that about Howard and Ohio State, but maybe that's just what my brain is looking at when I'm handicapping these. But we have yet to see a game out of Rodgers where he just goes straight Aaron Rodgers and tears it up. Jordan Love hung 389 yards against this Minnesota defense. So I just like the combination. I like the spot. I like the across the pond. It's less of a time zone change for the Jets than it is for Minnesota. The Jets are 2.5-point dogs out here. The smart move is that you take the points, but I'm going outright. I think that you get some plus money here. Half of my play is going to be on the Jets money line, and the other half of my play is going to be taking the points. I love the JETS in this spot.
And I've been saying this. Everybody asked me today, where do I see the Jets this week? It's just fitting. Right now, Sam Darnold and the Minnesota Vikings are 4-0. They're heading over there to London. And after just laying up a dud against the Broncos in MetLife Stadium, it would be very fitting that the Jets would go to London and find a way to pull this one off. So I would agree with you. I am crazy to believe it. But, hey, you know what? I've seen crazier things with the New York Jets. I believe they give Minnesota their first loss. And they're coming off right now. They're on an ego trip. They're 4-0, and they look like they're just world beaters right now. And by the way, they almost choked last week against Jordan Love at the end of the game. Sam Darnold made some timely mistakes that could have cost them the game. But then again,
they have a really bad pass defense. Their pass defense is vulnerable, and you're going against a Hall of Fame quarterback that can and will exploit them.
We'll see. And now your final pick for Let's Parlay.
So this is a weird week in the NFL and in college. And so you guys have heard me time and time again talk about bankroll management. And so full disclosure, this is a week where every Monday I take a cash out, no matter what. If you're into sports betting, I would tell you no matter what, you pay yourself and pay yourself first. So this Monday morning, when I took my cash out, I pulled a larger cash out than I would have. And this is a week where I'm scaling down on my unit size. Normally, I take my cash out and I press the unit with some of the profit that's still in the account. What I mean by that is if you bet $10 on every game, this is a week where I will be knocking that down to $7. And I enjoyed the larger cash out. Next week, you might be able to catch an opportunity depositing some of that money back if you wanted to. And you catch one of those bonuses that Bovada offers, put in $200, get $200. But this is a scale down week. I look at Cincinnati is a 1.5 point favorite against Baltimore. Explain to me in what world that makes sense. But somebody that wants to confuse us wrote that line. So like Arizona is a 9.5 point dog against a division opponent. It doesn't make a difference what you think about San Francisco versus Arizona. 9.5 points. It's all about the number. So NFL is a very difficult week. So my final parlay pick, I am actually going to jump on one of those weird lines, but it doesn't seem as weird to me. I am going to take Houston plus 1.5, and I'm going to sprinkle some money line on that too. I think that Houston is going to beat Buffalo outright. I don't know that they're going to beat them up and make them look as foolish as Baltimore did. Baltimore really set the tone early. The way that Henry was running the ball, that big 80-plus yard run, it really wasn't a game, and Baltimore jumped on them early. I don't think Houston's going to do that, but you have to look at where this opened. Houston was the favorite, and this one is less weird to me than Cincinnati as a favorite against Baltimore. But Buffalo has been beating up on bad teams, and the first good team they played this year smoked them. And you could say that Miami wasn't a bad team, but Tua threw 3 picks. Tua was on a pace to have a really historically bad season for Miami. He's out, he's not there, but Tua gave them that game by throwing those picks. CJ Stroud is not going to give them the ball. And when you look at Houston's defense, I like what a defensive-minded coach is able to plan for against a quarterback that wants to give you the ball. Josh is going to do some really amazing things, but it almost seems like his goal is to give the defense the ball once or twice a game. And so I like Houston in this game as the least awful of all the weird point spreads that are out there. But I think this will be a good CJ Stroud moment.
All right, Wes, we really appreciate the time as always. I know you're busy. Yeah. We'll get you on next week. We'll talk in a little bit anyway. So as you always
and be royal, fellas.
I'm going to be New York as the Yankees better win this series. I know Keith doesn't believe it, but something tells me that this is just a series that I just don't like. For the Yankees, I would have rather Baltimore. I would have rather even Detroit than Kansas City. I'm worried about Kansas City. I don't know what it is, but that was the team. That was the team.
How is it? So it tells you how much I know about baseball. This is a 5-game series or a 7-game series?
5 games. Yep.
Yeah.
5-game series. And so does it start in New York?
2 in New York,
Two in Kansas City.
2 in Kansas City, and if it goes to a game 5, game 5 in New York. So it will be 2, 2, and 1.
Where all the pressure will be on the Yankees.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
The Royals. The Royals need to find their bats. Their games have been boring to watch.
Well, their lineup depth isn't great, but their top is very.
It is Yankee Stadium, so they'll probably find.
Well, Salvi stranded the bases loaded at one point tonight. I mean, they really could have put it out of reach. So it is what it is. Have a good night, guys.
See you later, Wes. And by the way, Perez always kills the Yankees. His numbers in Yankee Stadium is ridiculous. It's over 300. I think it's like 325 or 330. It's something ridiculous. So he's the one that worries me more than anybody is Perez. I know Witt is fantastic, but Perez has always been a Yankee killer, especially in Yankee Stadium. And that's what worries me.
He's a veteran guy with all the playoff experience. Mm-hmm. By the way, Wes, they were my AL World Series pick. Phillies in my hand now. I haven't beating them, but
I am not complaining. I love the way this city feels when the Royals are in the air. And at this point, there's not a lot of encouraging things looking at the Chiefs. It just a lot of injuries and the key injuries that they have. It doesn't look like they're going to have them until the playoffs, which creates chemistry issues.
They should just bring Taylor Swift in for a wide receiver. That's what
I was reading about that. Taylor goes to games at Arrowhead. She has not been at road games because her security is an issue, where Arrowhead knows how to handle her security. Some of these away stadiums, that they won't cooperate with her security requirements to bring her there.
Do you blame them? I have my own thoughts. I was arguing with somebody at my job today, a bunch of women telling me that Taylor Swift has nothing to do with the NFL handing the Kansas City Chiefs games. And they don't know anything about football. They love Taylor Swift, and they're sitting there telling me, "Oh, I told her this is, to me, the whole Taylor Swift Travis Kelce situation, it's all about publicity." And I said, "Oh, she doesn't need Travis Kelce. Kelce needs her." That's not true. Because after she breaks up with Travis Kelce, she's going to make a whole album on the breakup, and it's going to make her billions of dollars. Travis Kelce is a superstar, so they don't even know.
This one kind of feels real. I mean, they go to restaurants around town. Maybe they're just really good at knowing the cameras are on them. But this one feels real, and she does a lot of good things around Kansas City. Her and Brittany Mahomes. A lot of people hate Brittany Mahomes, but she does a lot of good things for this community. And Taylor has really inserted herself in some good things around town, just for, just not just sports, but, less fortunate charitable causes and things like that. But whatever it is, the Chiefs they got some headwinds coming. Like they've looked uninterested most of this season. I mean, they look like some knee takers. Like they just want to get to where they need to get to, kick the field goal, be out of it. They've just looked uninterested. And at this point in the season, with all these injuries, I mean, Hollywood Brown might make it back to week 16. Rice is gone. I mean, we won't see him again until next year. And you're not getting Devontae Adams from a divisional opponent, and that's just too high profile for the Chiefs.
Thanks, Wes.
Have a good night, guys.
Yeah, honestly, I'm going to tell you this straight out. Taylor Swift is everything to the NFL right now. The NFL loves this. They love it. They love that Taylor Swift is right there in the bright lights. The Kansas City Chiefs are a football team that's on the brink of being a 3-time Super Bowl champion. And anybody that sits there and tells me, "Well, I don't even like Taylor Swift, but I think this is real," guys, come on. It is all about money. And I think it helps both of them out. I think it's real? Yeah, they're sleeping with each other. They're enjoying each other's beds. In the end, Taylor Swift, she breaks up with Travis Kelce, or Travis Kelce breaks up with her, she's going to make billions off of it. Everybody says, how does this benefit Taylor? It benefits Taylor just as much as it benefits the NFL and benefits Travis Kelce. And then these girls tell me, "Oh, I never even knew who Travis Kelce was until he started dating Taylor Swift." I say, then you don't know football. Travis Kelce is going to go down as one of the top 3 tight ends to ever play the game. And he would have went down as one of the top 3 tight ends in the game, even without her. So I don't understand what they're trying to say. And he was going to get that $100 million contract with his podcast, with or without her. So I don't know why everybody thinks Taylor Swift is the reason why Travis Kelce is getting all the publicity. He was always getting the publicity when he was in It was either him or Patrick Mahomes. Kelce knows best. Does anybody remember that? Come on, guys. It is ridiculous. And I'm so tired of people sticking up for Taylor Swift. And then they said, I remember them saying stuff about what she with the whole politics thing, that it was all bullcrap and she didn't mean to post the stuff. She absolutely mean to post what she's posted on social media, on Instagram and Twitter. Why is everybody sticking up for this girl? She loves to be the center of attention. She loves it. And for anybody to think that she doesn't, it's ridiculous. And again, I'm not hating on Taylor Swift. She's a sensational musician. She makes hits. She does. I don't sit there and listen to them. I don't care about her love fest.
No, you just have to be stuck DJing.
I don't know. Sometimes I do. I have to listen to the garbage. Yeah. A love story. How many times has one of these young Sweet 16 girls come up to me and say, play love story, Mr. Mark.
Danielle Garner's future daughter.
No, I do not. I repeat, I do not. I am not a big fan or love her music. I do not love her music, but I will say this. She's a star and she writes about her love stories or, her breakups. And this is a big time sell for her. After she's done with Travis or Travis is done with her, she will write and make an album. She'll travel around the world and make billions off of it. Billions. And these girls are telling me it doesn't benefit her by dating Travis. It's so stupid. Are you kidding me? This doesn't benefit her. It absolutely benefits her. So it just, again, in the NFL, if you don't think the NFL loves this whole relationship with Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, you're wrong about that too. They're loving this. It's a sell for them. They're bringing in. Do you know the Super Bowl was watched more in different countries than ever? I mean, there were over 200. I think it was 245 countries that watched the Super Bowl last year. 245 countries. Now, I'm not saying it's the biggest thing watched on television. It's no question every single year. But the number went up. Like you're talking about like 16, 17 million more people watched it. Or some, I'm sorry, not 16. I'm a little crazy there. I would say about 7 or 8 million. I don't know the number, but if you look it up, it's a ridiculous number. And why was it ridiculous? Because Taylor Swift and the Kansas City Chiefs were in the Super Bowl and she was there. Anybody that watched the Super Bowl last year that were young little girls under the age of 8 or 9 years old wasn't watching the Super Bowl because of Travis Kelce or Patrick Mahomes or their love fest for the NFL. They were watching it because of Taylor Swift. And she didn't even sing. She had nothing to do with the Super Bowl. Just her clapping and dancing around at the press box. Okay? That's the facts, ladies and gentlemen. And if you don't want to believe it and you want to attack me all over the country, you can kiss my ass. I'm just, I'm trying to be nice here. I don't know. Was that nice, Speedy? Do you think I was trying to be nice there? I don't think I was being nice. I'm not going to be there sitting and singing Taylor Swift songs. That's for damn sure. As Patrick Mahomes probably has her lead CD as his number 1 CD and his 6 changeable CD player in his car, his Tahoe, whatever the hell he drives. So good for him. Anyways, Travis Kelce loves to sing her songs, as we've seen him at concerts this offseason. By the way, Travis Kelce, he looks like he put on another baby. I mean, did anybody see him go out the other day on TMC? They were posting up pictures of him. He's wearing these used to wear tight shirts to show his physique. He's wearing these like long double XL shirts that you don't even see his man body. I mean, I don't know what you call it, but it looks like he's pregnant. Okay. But that's just me. I've been watching it. Anyways. When we come back, a very good friend of the show, we're very happy to have him on as baseball and the playoffs are here. We will be talking to former Twins, Cubs, Tigers, and Marlins outfielder, a Yankee killer at one point, Jock Jones.